life, real topics. Welcome back to Cayman Conversations, now streaming on Caymanian Times, Facebook, and YouTube channels, and also live on Bobo FM 89.1. Hope you had a great weekend. I did. If you're a small business owner and would like to appear on Cayman Conversations, email me at ralph at caymaniantimes.ky or just call at 916-2000. Today, in our first conversation, we're joined by Mrs. Nordia England Prout from UCCI's School of Hospitality. She joins us with two students to talk about the hospitality program. In our second interview, Mr. Michael Miles returns to talk about Inspire Cayman co-curriculum introductory craft skills and other work-related training. The Ministry of Tourism and UCCI School of Hospitality and Tourism motto is Skills, Scholarship, and Success. The program commenced in 2014 and was designed for recent high school, secondary graduates interested in pursuing a career in the hospitality and tourism industry. The course aims to provide and prepare young Caymanians with hospitality and tourism education, training, and certification for long-term success in hospitality leadership. The core curriculum is delivered by trained industry experts who are certified and passionate faculty representatives. Today, I represent Miss Nordia, who I recently spoke with, and two of her students. Good afternoon, ladies, and welcome to Cayman Conversation. It's my pleasure to have all of you, to talk about the UCCI School of Hospitality program. And leading group of fine ladies is Mrs. Nordia England Prout, the director of the hospitality school here, and Mrs. Nordia UCCI. Good afternoon, director of the.
Good afternoon, Ralph. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us here. Good afternoon, Ralph, and taking the time out to speak to us.
Okay. You have two of your students or past students. Would you introduce them for me, please?
Certainly. We have Miss Marcia Malcolm. She started back then it was the certificate program. Now it's been upgraded to diploma, but she started that program, matriculated now to associate degree. So we're pursuing in hospitality as well. And of course, we have Miss Caitlin Henry, who is currently doing her associate degree as well.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, ladies. How are you feeling? Just give us a brief overview of the program, please.
Okay, so the program really started in 2014. So we are basically in our 9th year. It's designed for recent high school graduates, who've completed high school or secondary level, 16 years to 20 years. The course aims to really prepare Caymanians with hospitality industry knowledge. So it also enables students to develop competence in maths, in English, in menu planning, table setting, and of course, most importantly, industry exposure, where they get on-the-job training as well as participate in internship at the end of the program or near to the end of the program, the final semester in the program. Now, of course, the program really start taking persons in fall 2023, and that is August 28 this year. So it's a 1 year long semester, so 3 semester, 1 year long program. Yes? And semester, one program. Sorry. So and the deadline for application is really why we're here to encourage Caymanians, young Caymanians, to go ahead and start applying for the program, because the deadline is the 12th of June.
Because let's come back to that information a little later, just to remind our listeners how they can make sure that they register. How has the support, or how has the response to your previous take up
So basically, we've had like over almost 300 persons or over 200 persons coming through the program. We have our, a lot of success stories. One in particular, Oak Budden from Grand Old House. He came through the program and now he's a manager at first at coming through the program. We have our hoping to get more success stories like that. But we have a number of our students who are still working in the industry currently. Some are doing culinary, some are doing reception, some are even doing, food and beverage service. So we've had a lot of success thus far, but we need more. We need more, and our aim is really to train Caymanians, give them the proper education, and also, certify them.
Mashe, tell me what you've learned from this course and how it's been applied to your late life.
It has been great because I've learned different pathways. I wanted to study business before, and I find myself intrigued in hospitality because of you can travel and you can go to different places. The educational background, it's very diverse, so I really like it. It has been an experience.
Caitlin, how about you? You're currently in the course, and how do you find it so far with all the training and experience that you've received?
Been through a lot. Because at first I was really into photography, and when I graduated high school, I wanted to come to UCCI, and I saw that they didn't have a photography program or anything in that field, and I didn't want to do science for a living, and I'm not a mathematician. So then I saw the hospitality program, and I'm a people person, so I thought maybe that would help me get through college was my thought process, just get through it. And then I got into the program and it became very fun, and it wasn't what I expected it would be. And through the program, I got to meet a lot of different people from different cultures, and I got my very first job through the program, which was really, really fun. And I got to go to the Ritz-Carlton and meet the managers there and have very good conversations and have tours, and it was just a very good overall experience, and I can't wait to do more, and I'll be very upset when I finish, but it's very, very exciting so far.
How long is the course, the first course, Ms. Nadia?
So the first course is 1 year, so 3 semesters. So fall, spring, and then summer would be the final semester.
Would you say that the course is a hard course? Is it a lot of work, or is it intense, or is it easy enough for anyone who thinks that they want to be in hospitality, that they can come on board and they'll be successful?
Right. I think the program is, fairly easy. You have to really love hospitality to really engage in it. However, you can develop a love for it after you come in if you don't already have that. So the courses are pretty easy. We do offer support through student life for persons who may have a challenge in terms of, processing the theoretical part of the information. So we have lecturers as well who are very passionate, and they work closely to support the students throughout the program. So anybody can come in. You don't necessarily need a hospitality background, fresh out of high school with interest. And of course, you have to be committed. That is the most important part. And we have a sweet deal to tell you about as well, as you get through.
Excellent. So we hold on to that for right now.
Okay.
There has always been concern that Caymanians don't want to work in the hospitality industry. And so that's why a lot of expatriate workers were brought in here. And so when this program started years ago, I'm sure that was one of the concerns that many had. And have you seen that culture changing towards embracing hospitality?
I definitely see a culture change. We have a far way to go, but we can get there.
Ladies, can you just give some feedback? Masha, do you think that the culture has changed towards working in the tourism industry?
Yes, it has because um, how would I say? Um, well, to me before, like the hospitality, like people used to view hospitality as, you're just working and cleaning stuff. Like that's what I think before, and that's what my old classmates used to think too. So everybody used to like put down hospitality and just be like, oh well, I don't want to do that because it's like you don't get paid enough. But then once I came into this program, and I came to the school, I realized, and I'm like, no, there's like so much opportunity. There's so much opportunity. You get to travel and like you get to meet new people, meet like and diverse with so much. So I think it's very fun to realize the difference.
And Caitlin?
I agree for sure because we're mostly known for our tourist destinations, and we have a lot of tourists coming in almost every day, and just to have more Caymanians being in the hospitality degree would be better because obviously if we're from here and we want tourists to know our culture and it'll be definitely easier and more cultural for us.
I agree. I've had this Mark Manjiro, this Carlton general manager, many times on this program. He was here just about a month ago, and we spoke about the same thing. He said there's so much opportunities in the hotel industry, and he even mentioned that there's certain senior staff who are getting paid quite a lot. So the opportunities when you factor in the what's called the tips or the gratuity, is a huge opportunity. I think that is what is lost and that's not shared with people in the community, so they can really say, okay, well, it's worth my while. But everybody wants a job that'll pay their expenses. And so knowledge is power, and I'm sure this is where Miss Nadia comes in the picture because she's going to explain that. Right. The Ministry of Tourism has been very helpful. And my question is, how do these courses get financed?
So, good question, and that's the sweet deal we're telling you about. How many persons have $3,000 or $4,000 to pay for self-pay for a program? What the Ministry of Tourism through the DOT have done is basically fund the entire program, and it's free for all Caymanians. So the tuition basically it covers tuition, cost of books, student supplies, and pay for transportation when we do field trip, etc. So basically, all they need to do is be interested, be committed, show up and show out. Because the DOT has been so gracious in the past 9 years in supporting us and helping us to fund this program for Caymanians.
And this is excellent. The country is behind this program, and that's a good thing. And I'm sure knowing that the country is supporting and financing programs, more commitment to take this program. Do they have to have any special passes to apply or to qualify?
Yes, so we'll talk about that in a minute, but I just wanted to plug for the internship and the industry partners who are currently supporting us. So they assist with on-the-job training as well as internship at the specific time of the internship in summer. Yes?
That's fine.
Right? And so we want to pause to acknowledge those partners who have been over the years supporting us, like the DART Hospitality Group, the Wharf. I don't want to forget any names, but they're so special to us and they're really integral in, the success that we've had. So we also have a new player coming on board, Andrea from Stage Social. They train students for dining room as well as culinary. So they've been gracious in, helping us support the students to develop the hands-on skill. Of course, as I said, I don't want to forget anybody, but want to mention Miss Roberta and Loxley from from Westin, from the Westin, and a host of others. Of course, Jake Scott, how could I forget Jake Scott? They give us a lot of discounts and they're very, very supportive when it comes down to the students doing the introduction to wine course. Maya from Fusion, she assists us with the bartending, helping the students develop the bartending techniques, etc., etc. And a host of others who are in the pipeline to come on stream. So we invite industry partners, we need the support, we need the facility, anything you can do to continue to, drive this engine of social change, which is what we really want.
And I hear your passion, which is good. I'm so happy that you've been able, you said, to secure such support from the community as a whole, not just the government. That I've always said in this conversation, the government can't do everything.
Exactly.
The community and the businesses have to come on board if we're going to make this thing happen. And this is a perfect example of CI is working with industry partners and the government. And of course, we have the students who are coming on board. So I think this is a success story that will go far and change, like I said, change the culture of how tourism is staffed and viewed in the society. And I think there's a future for Caymanians in the industry. And my next question is for Marsha. Do you think that there is a future for Caymanians in the history, not just in this industry, not just now, but in long term? You think more people like yourself and
I think so. I think so because they will learn that you get to travel and get to meet people. I think that they learn that once they're in class, they don't sit down and just learn.
Yes.
And they're still in class, and they go to trips and they get to just have fun, with me. So I think they would like that.
Okay, great. What do you think?
For me, I think it's 50-50, honestly, because I love my island for sure, absolutely. But I've been here my whole life, and in the hospitality degree, I figured that traveling is one of the best things you can do. As in, meeting new people and seeing new things and seeing new cultures and learning more. And the 50-50 part comes in when you go to travel and you go to learn. It's the coming back. That's a bit harder to do because the world is so big, right? And of course we're so little. And our life is the island life, but when you really think about it, I don't want a vacation all the time. I do want to be hands-on and I do want to see more and be more. So yeah, for me that's kind of a balance.
Okay, we can switch back to Ms. Nadia. Tell me something about the roles that they play in this industry, just to a reminder to those who maybe have just joined us. And by the way, we are live on Bobo FM 89.1. Do they get to work or do internship with all the roles in this industry, or just a few?
Okay, so that's a good question, Ralph. Basically, we offer students an opportunity in the diploma program to choose their preferred learning pathways. So particularly those who want to do reception services. So they want to work at the front desk, they want to work in guest service, they want to work even at the airport or any customer service related job, they would choose those pathways. And so when we do the internship, we try to align all those competencies, help them develop based on that pathway chosen. We also offer the food preparation and culinary pathway for those persons who want to evolve as, sous chef, cooks, who want to be in the kitchen, because some students don't necessarily want to be in the kitchen, but there are some that is their passion. And remember, Cayman Islands is the culinary capital of the world, right? So we have that pathway, so persons who want to work in the kitchen or develop their culinary skills. We also have food and beverage for the ones who don't love the kitchen that much, but they are willing to serve and serve as hostess, as bussers. Even you start as bussers and then gradually you improve to leadership and supervisory positions in the restaurant. You may even own your own restaurant. Now, the food and beverage, and also with the newly added pathway is the water sports and recreation. So that now offers students certification in PADI, in rescue, training in rescue certification, CPR, and a host of other water sports specialized certification. So what we find is that there were students who were really interested in this type of pathway, and so we are working with GoPro, Cayman, to really assist the students in developing the necessary competencies and gaining the international certification for this program. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now, after they've completed this 1 year course and they go into the industry, maybe get a few years experience, is there any opportunities for them to do further training or further education or go into additional courses, or like for like a bachelor's degree or a higher learning?
Yes, definitely. So at the end of successfully completing the diploma program, students will be awarded a level 2 certification, diploma in hospitality and tourism. And this is certified by City and Guilds. UCCI is currently an approved City and Guilds center. Yes, so they get that award, and then of course, once they get that award, they can now matriculate to associate degree. We haven't had any financial support just now, but like similar to the diploma. However, students interested in this pathway or who have matriculated can seek financial support from Student Life. Yes, so we have additional funding that we can, once they qualify, we can provide to them.
Well, we're getting close to the end of this first segment. I would love to come back to speak to you about other students about how they have progressed and where they are in the industry.
Yes.
Because I would love to know if it's gonna be just a one-off, something after a year or two, it's gonna go away, or is it gonna be something that's gonna grow from time to time? Because if we want to put many persons in our tourism industry, it has to be continuous momentum. And of course, I know that they will always be working in the tourism industry. That's the second pillar of our community. And it's growing. So there's always work in that industry. Yes, we had a challenge with Ivan, and of course with the pandemic, when this does happen. Disasters always happen everywhere you go. It affects all industries. So there will always be work in the tourism industry. That's why we make sure that this program is around. So can you speak to that?
Yes.
You have a feeling that this is going to be there for long.
Once the students are successful, continuously successful, then if the program will look good. We have qualified and certified teachers who provide the education and help the students build the competencies. Now, also, you asked about the tracking and where they are now, and that is done through student service. We track all the students who come through the program, find out where they are now, and offer any support. We even use them when we're doing like little advertisement, or get them involved, coming to speak to the current students as well. So that tracking is done and it can be shared with you. It's tracked by Student Life, as I mentioned. Yeah.
And that's why we're here today on Cayman Conversations, talking to you and the students to see how they are adopting and they are fitting into the system, and they are, of course, changing the culture of how we view tourism and hospitality and and working in that industry in the Cayman Islands. And before I say goodbye, I'd like the ladies to just any final words or advice for future students.
I'll advise you to don't, if anybody say anything about hospitality, because that's what I did before. I listened to word of mouth saying that you're not supposed to do this, and don't follow them. It's a really good opportunity, and I encourage anybody out there that wants to, diverse their knowledge and know more about the world and to travel. I really, really, I think that you should try it out. It's fun.
Give it a chance because when you're young, you have time. And if you're not a people person, that's fine because there are several positions in the hospitality industry that don't require that much face-to-face interaction. If you are a people person like me, absolutely. And when I was in high school, a lot of my teachers told me that college was going to be harder and the teachers were going to be nice and they're not going to care. And that is a complete lie because Miss Prout is one of the best teachers I've ever had in my life. And I consider her a friend now because I trust her with everything and just give it a chance.
Oh, thank you,
Miss Prout.
Caitlin.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you speak to the comment, but let's wrap up and see what good news you have for us there.
Right. So basically, this is the time as well for industry partners looking to get their staff certified. We are trying to we're planning to roll out a similar program for the evening. So if you have staff members or team members desirous of getting certified through City and Guilds, American Lodging and Hotel Association, please start, contacting us and let's get down to business, because this year we've really had a lot of interest from the 21 and up. So what we would classify as a mature student. And what we try to do is keep them separate because a lot of times those persons are already working in the industry and have developed industry knowledge, specific knowledge, right? And so this is the time now for them to extend interest. They too can apply for the deadline of June 12 because we're planning to roll out that evening program as well, similar to what we offer in the daytime. And to apply, you visit www.ucci.edu.ky and just click the apply button and it takes you to the course, right? Now, you need to be at least 16 to 20 years for the diploma program, the current diploma program. You also need to submit your application because without an application, we cannot review and pre-screen because we're going to go through a pre-screening and interview phase because obviously we can't take all the persons who apply. We're targeting 40 and we're looking for as many out of that 40. Now it's limited space, and so you need to start your application process. Students will be required to do a video essay, updated resume, a certified copy of any external passes, so CXC, GCE, BTech, etc., and a proof of health insurance, a copy of the passport, and definitely a letter of acknowledgement because the program is really designed for Caymanians. Right? So you have to show proof that you are Caymanian to be accepted in the program and of course go through pre-screening and interviews phase.
And that will begin on June 12th in about 2 weeks.
Right, so the deadline is June 12th. So make sure you get your applications in so that you can be scheduled for interview. Okay?
Well, the final words, encouragement.
Students, interested persons, persons out there looking to develop their hospitality industry knowledge, come on in, apply today. Don't wait until it's too late. As we said, the 12th of June is the deadline for application. Make sure it's just like the lottery. Without a ticket, you don't have a chance. Don't be out there not doing anything while you could study for 1 year and actually start your career. Yes? So make sure you apply. Again, www.ucci.edu.ky.
And I have one final question from me personally. People of my age who may want to be part of this tourism drive. And I've traveled with the location. I've seen older people in the industry. Is it possible for somebody of an older age, maybe out in the 40s, to come on board and and apply and to take this course?
Most definitely, but that would be in the evening course. Yes? That would be in the evening. We are conscientious that persons are working and they may not have the time to attend the daytime school. And so we're planning to roll out that evening program, similar to what is being offered in the daytime.
Thank you very much. No, it's been a pleasure being here with you and your two students, Caitlin and Marsha. Marsha, a few difficulties with her, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We have to come back and do another conversation. It's all about getting the information out to everyone about this great news. And thank you very much. And we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you so much, Ralph. Thanks for having us.
As we celebrate another Child's Month, I wish to appeal to parents, teachers, and the rest of the Cayman Islands community to commit to protecting and educating our nation's children. Our children are our greatest assets. As a nation, it is imperative for those of us charged with responsibility for their care to create a safe, nurturing environment that fosters their growth and development into responsible citizens. Despite this fact, child abuse and mistreatment cases are still far too prevalent, which suggests that we have not yet managed to create a safe environment for all children. The Ministry of Education fully supports this year's Child Month theme. Investing in our children means investing in our future. It is well known that over the years, we have invested heavily in teaching and learning resources. We have done this to improve the educational opportunities presented to our students. However, we also recognize that it is essential to invest in developing resources that will guarantee a safe learning environment for every child under our care. To this end, we have worked diligently to institute national policies for educational institutions outlining code of conduct, expectations for adults, safe environment requirements, and a framework for the mandate to report suspicions of child abuse and neglect. We are also dedicated to preparing individuals working and volunteering in educational institutions to quickly identify and respond to signs of abuse. Since 2021, approximately 2,700 people have completed our online child safeguarding training, and almost 1,300 have completed the in-person module. However, we cannot do it alone. As a society, our collective duty is to place our children's well-being and holistic growth at the forefront of our priorities. So, I urge all parents, guardians, and other caregivers to let us all work together to create a safe environment for our nation's children. In so doing, you must be vigilant. Set up child-friendly spaces, engage in open conversations with your children, and listen carefully to their concerns. Additionally, if you believe a child is being abused or neglected, please don't hesitate to contact the child protection officer assigned to your child or ward school. They will then report the matter to the Multi-Agency Safeguarding Hub, otherwise known as MARSH, for investigation. To our child protection officers and the members of MARSH, I thank you for ensuring matters of child abuse are handled with priority. I likewise express my gratitude to the countless other educators, government agencies, NGOs, parents, and caregivers who tirelessly champion the well-being of our children. The Ministry of Education will continue to partner with you as we work to safeguard the welfare of our children and foster an atmosphere conducive to their continuous growth and achievement, so that one day they can develop into self-assured, well-educated individuals who can make a valuable contribution to our country's economic growth, productivity, and competitiveness.
And welcome back to Cayman Conversation. I really enjoyed that interview with the UCCI's Miss Liz Nordy and her two students. And I'm really looking forward to part two, where she went into more detail about experiences and the potential work for our people. It's my next pleasure, it's my great pleasure to introduce my next guest. And he is none other than Mr. Michael Miles from Inspired Cayman. Good afternoon, Mr. Miles, and welcome back to Cayman Conversations. How are you doing today?
I'm very well. Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate you inviting me again. It's always great to be here.
Yeah, all right. It's amazing. The last couple of conversations I'm having is all about employment, TVET skills, education. It looks like Kemal Conversation is developing a repertoire of its own. And apparently, it's the buzzword on the ground right now. Everybody's talking about education, and you have been talking about it for years. That's
Yeah.
your life. Yes.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to?
We've continued marching forward. You know me, Ralph. I do while I do quite a bit of talking and explaining. I also do a lot of doing. I'm a doer, and I'm going to continue doing a lot of doing. I simply just don't believe in just getting on a microphone or being on the radio or talking in a newspaper. I want to show people that things are being done. So, that's what we've been doing since our last conversation. We have since launched a partnership with WORC to launch a lot of training programs. It's one that I'm very proud of, and I've been trying to do this now for the last, I don't know, 5 years of since
Yes.
Inspire. So, it's kind of here now, and I'm excited. I'm excited to finally have where every community that comes through our door, the possibility of getting a TVET grant is now imminent.
Yes.
That they will qualify for a TVET grant, and that's one of the major changes in the last 2 months.
Yes, that's great. I'm so happy because I remember those stories and those conversations we had in the past where we talked about why can't you get that kind of connection and support. And it's so happy to see that that's happening. And not only in your ear, but all around, I'm hearing it happening, which is good because the children are our future. We know that song, children are future. We have to take care of them and, of course, provide the training. And so it says it's a curriculum introductory craft skills course. Can you go
Right.
into that in more detail? No.
Yes. So, we have several different opportunities now to train up people. Like I've told you, I'm not sure if I shared with you the last time. I hope I did. Because of the impact of COVID, we have had to also go online as well. So we have over 4,000 programs online. We have programs in every possible thing now. My team and I are getting ready to do a complete rebranding because we're not just a TVET center anymore. We are a workforce development organization. We are doing a lot more than just when I started off, 4.5, 5 years ago. So the work is also providing resources for Caymanians to be trained up and I think they are sponsoring 40 people to do a variety of things online on our learning management platform. From folks who struggle with grammar, so we are providing a grammar program. We're providing an accounting program, entrepreneurship program, and we're also providing a admin fundamental skills program. And then they're also sponsoring folks to do the craft introductory program. The core curriculum, Ralph, is a pre-construction course. We are NCCER certified center. NCCER stands for the National Center for Construction, Education, and Research. It's an organization out of the US. We are an accredited institution of that. But this particular course is a pre-construction course. It's the first qualification that once they pass this course, they can then move into things like electrical, plumbing, and so forth. Now, in the last 4 years that we've offered this course, Ralph, we have had probably about 25, 26 people who've come through this course. All of those people have moved right into the construction industry the moment that they are certified with this course, because this course provides 9 modules of pre-construction training, things like, measuring, power tools, hand tools, safety. And that's what construction organizations want for folks coming in the door. So I don't even have enough people to come back to do like HVAC or plumbing and so forth, because the moment that they finish this course, they're being hired. So that should tell you how, how in demand, people who have just basic foundation training is demanded within the construction industry. And then in addition to that, we're also offering a professional development training course. We call it Tools for Success. So Tools for Success provides 8 weeks of resume writing, interview skills, teaching people how not to just get a job, but how to get a career. I don't talk jobs with people. I talk careers with people. I talk about what inspires you. I talk what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning. I don't talk about how you get paid, because everyone's going to get paid. And the people that walk through my door, the majority of them have had jobs. So I'm not here to get in about another job. What I'm here to do is look at how do you go from entry level to the presidency? Like how do you go from entry level to a manager or a supervisor? What is it that you're going to have to do? What additional training you need to take on, and what commitment you need to have, right? So that's what the Tools for Success program is all about. So we are revamping the Ready to Work program. So the Ready to Work program that was once hosted by Work, we are now partnering with Work, and we've redone that program. So that's no longer going to be a 2-week program. That's now an 8-week program. So there's going to be a lot of training over the next year. And what I like about this, Ralph, is that for the first time in 4.5 years, I am able to plan my year. I have never been able to plan a year. I've been surviving on sponsorship or, relying solely on the private sector to come in and give me $1,000 here and there to build a group. Now we are able to say, okay, for the next year, we have 60 people that we're going to be training up every quarter. So every 3 months, if this goes to plan, we are able to train up 60 people and assist as many people in moving up in their level of retraining or professional development. So, that's a big win for us. And it's one, that I've been begging for the last 4.5 years of running Inspire.
Well, my question is, why did it take so long? I'm hearing a lot of training and, a lot of facilities and a lot of activity now. And I know you've been pushing at it for a long time, over 5 years.
People are hurting, man. People are hurting. People are losing their houses. People are under the water. The premier just announced, because it's another project that I've been pushing to the government, the Financial Peace University program. I've been trying to get that nationwide. The premier and Ms. Heather Bodden has paid for it in their constituencies. For the last 3 years, I've co-sponsored that program as well. So I've invested a lot of money with him in that program and a lot of time. And I've been begging to get it to where everybody has access to the program. All of our people, we don't teach budgeting, like you and I have had this discussion, quite often, right? We don't teach budgeting in our public or private schools. We don't teach kids how to understand their pension or how to save money or how to live, so we have young people coming out of school who are either unemployed or they get a little entry-level job. And the first thing that they're doing is they're going out and buy a very expensive car, not understand, or they're getting into credit card debt, or they're applying for, their parents are taking out the loans to send them off to college when we have at least $12 million in scholarships floating around this country. So we're teaching that, right? I'm teaching people how to grocery shop, because you can no longer just go into Hurley's, Kirk's, or Foster's and just pick up groceries, right? It now have to be more strategic on how you're doing, how you're living. Cayman isn't a Cayman 30 or 40 years ago when, the cost of living was extremely low and at least you were guaranteed a little raise every year. That's no longer guaranteed. Salaries have frozen, but expenses have continued to climb. So what are you going to do? You cannot continue to spend money the way that you've been spending money 2-3 years ago, or even 5 years ago, right? You now have to start to look, do you have an emergency fund? The average Caymanian in our country that I've worked with over 500 people just in just in the Financial Peace University program alone, the average Caymanian, I'm talking about 80 and 90% of Caymanians do not know if they have a $300 expenditure, they don't know where that money is going to come from.
Yes.
Right? So it's going to be a government issue. You know what I mean?
Of
At the end of
course.
the day, let's face this. It's going to be a government issue. Well, who's the government? The government is the people of the country. So if it's a core government issue, well, who's going to be paying for that? The
It's the
people of the
people.
country are going to be paying for that, which means the government's expenses is going to go up, and our money is going to go more into government coffers. So therefore, we're going to be taxed more, right? So we need to be very careful on how we're asking for more and more government aid because we are paying for that.
I'm in the position I am today because of a program I was running in 2013 in relation to teaching people how to manage their funds. And I was counseling a gentleman and his wife, and he said, Ralph, I like what you're saying, but I have no jobs. So I looked over in the corner and there's this paper with a lot of jobs. I said, man, maybe I could do something with this. Maybe I could create something online that you could get to know what exists out there. Because if there's so much jobs here and you don't know about getting a job, then maybe not doing a good enough job at getting that information to the job seekers. And so fast forward maybe 10 years or 11 years down the road, I'm so happy to see that it's all working now and that you're part of it and our work is working with you and that I can know that they're going to be some good results. So my question is, have you seen results of those individuals who come to you? Can you speak about some of that?
You know,
I think we interviewed someone with you recently.
Absolutely. You know, your guy came in last week. We had our second certified operator, heavy equipment operator. Chris Miles was with us from NCB. They've invested heavily in his future, and they've been a phenomenal partnership as well for us. Prior to Chris coming to us, Chris kind of was learning on the job. You know, he was a heavy equipment operator learning on the job. When Chris came in, it completely blew his mind because he learned so much on our international heavy equipment simulator. And today he's more efficient. He's happy with his qualification. We are working with other organizations here with that. Anyone, we have seen, Ralph, that 75 to 80% of the people who have done Tools for Success are employed. And not only are employed, but they stay employed over a year, right? Because we're doing it right. People need to change behavior. And that's what I work on. I don't work on just getting people through a program. Anybody can do that. I just saw that you were on, with UCCI earlier on today. They want value just like us. I have no interest in someone paying me just to get a lot of people through a program and me giving them a certificate. The interest I have is, how does it impact Caymanians? How do we ensure that Caymanians are up for value of increases, salary increases, positions? How do we ensure that our people can compete? Right? That's what that's what my organization is after right now. I want to ensure that our people can compete because we don't teach that, right? We don't teach that in our public school system. We don't teach it in the private school system. We teach in education, right? We don't teach, okay, in the world, you now need to compete. As I tell people all the time, I graduated in 1990. I graduated, my class size was a little over 300. I wasn't competing with a guy in Ghana or Africa or, Europe or China or I was competing with the people in my class, right? And they were all Caymanian. Today, my kids aren't, our grandchildren aren't competing against the people that they're graduating with. They're competing with everybody around the world. So we need to start to act like that. We're not acting like that. We're acting like it's still an entitlement to get a job in Cayman, and it's not. People are now, organizations are preferring not to hire Caymanians because, a multitude of reasons. And I'm not here to go back and forth on whether they should or should not. I don't worry about that anymore. What I'm more concerned about is when they finish my program, are they able to compete? Has a shift going on in their mind where they're getting on and compete, and they are. 75% of the folks who was finishing the programs that we provide can compete. In particular, our Tools for Success program, which offers a comprehensive professional development training. The people that are in our TVET programs are sought after. I get calls regularly, and when I say regularly, daily, from organizations asking who do I have that they can recruit from? Who do I have? And it's not just, construction. I'm meeting with Freeport. I'm meeting with Health City. I'm meeting with a lot of organizations who want talent, but they also want value. They want good people. They want people that are going to stay and build with them. They don't just want a person that just want a paycheck. So we have to address this differently now.
And what I've said in the past as well is that an employer wants an employee who will give value for money. He's not going to pay a lot of money on a work permit and travel allowance, housing, when there is someone available locally who can do that job.
You're right, my friend.
They are not going to do it. They're going to invest in that person. And I've seen employers do it. They identify locals who actually are intelligent and who are sharp, and now they're in management positions. I work with them in the bank industry. And I remember when they joined as a cashier, and they're now vice presidents and senior vice presidents. And we're like, okay, are you from Cayman? Of course. But just give them the opportunity and they apply themselves. And it's amazing how they can perform and outperform many. And so we are seeing it happen. And with your inspired, the inspired training, I'm sure you've seen that sort of examples.
We have. It has to be a reteaching of what value is, right? The value isn't just showing up for work anymore. You actually have to perform now, right? But if you are not teaching that, right? This is not about math and English anymore, right? This is not about science. People actually want, like everyone is fighting for the same customer, right? So what's going to make my business very differently from your business? It's the employee, right? Because everybody has fairly comparable services, right? They, at the end of the day, that's what it is. What is the difference maker? The person who walks through the door, who wears my brand. That's going to be the difference maker. And that's what I'm preparing people for. I'm hard, and like I said to everyone that walked through the door, I'm hard on my own children because I want them to have a clear understanding. No one is going to pay you a lot of money and to do a lot of nothing. Organizations aren't paying for that anymore, right? They're not just paying because you have a pulse or a heartbeat. They're paying because you have an outcome and their companies are profitable. So if you're not going to have that, you're not going to be in, one, the company's not going to be in business long, and two, you're not going to have a job, right? So, but we don't teach it. We think that just simply putting words on a piece of paper is a resume. That's not a resume, right? That's how you create value. You are taking that document, and I see this all the time. People are just splashing words on a piece of paper and sending it out to 300-400 companies via email. And I said, and my question is, do you want to work for 300 companies? No. Well, tell me what you'd like to do. Would I like to work for this company? Great. Then let's focus on them, right? Or if you want to work in this particular industry, right? I'm seeing young people just splashing the entire country with resumes, or people that are in between jobs, right? Or you have 5 jobs that you've worked in 2 years, and they don't understand that when a human resources director sees that, it now shows that you have no commitment and you have absolutely no priority in terms of who you work for. So therefore, Caymanians are being passed up because they've job top for so long. And I see it often, right? They're coming in my doors and saying, sir, I can't get a job. And that's impossible. We have 35,000 work permits in Cayman. You can't get a job? Sorry, right? But when I look at the resume, I understand. You can't get a job, not because you're not qualified. It's because you have job hopped for so long. So we need to clean your resume up some, right? We need to make you more appealing on paper because the employer isn't meeting you. They're seeing you on paper first before they give you that call. So we need to make sure that I can get you in the door. And then I teach them how, when you get in the door, you now sell your skills, because that's what it's about. Right? What are you going to do for me that's going to make me some money? Or how are we going to build my business? Because how you are going to get paid as the employee is when I build the business. We are not teaching that part of it. And we should.
Because
Another thing that
we
we're not
should.
teaching, Ralph, is how to be an actual entrepreneur. We need to start to we need to stop teaching about just employeeism and start teaching owner.
Business.
How do we get our people to become owners? And that is something that I believe that we now need to move on with.
Yeah, I'm with you. And just to take a step back a minute, we got employers are investing in their staff for long term. They're not going to invest in you for you to leave in 6 months or 3 months or 2 months and a job hop. So that's why when you come with a resume with many jobs, they have a concern that, okay, after I've trained you for 4 months, you've gone. Now they have to train somebody else. And of course, it's a cost to it.
Absolutely.
So it's an investment for the employer, and these things are important. Now, if we train our people to understand that, they can say, okay, maybe I'm not happy with this job for today, but stick it out. Maybe it's something that you understand a little more. Have some patience, and that's a direction that we should go. Also, regarding being entrepreneurs, and I remember, I left the bank after a number of years, and I said I should have left the bank maybe 20 years before that.
Yeah.
But we get so comfortable being in a business, and
Yes.
that, okay, I have my salary coming. I can do great things, but I need to make sure that I have my salary. And that's one thing that we just close our eyes. But what happened is that there may be more that you can do by being
That's
your
it.
own business owner. Yes, you don't have to go on your own and start a business and leave your job. You could start the business while working in that institution. But it's
What I did.
amazing. It's amazing when you run your own show and you're taking care of your retirement. Many people, and we've spoken about this with the pension, it's not enough for them to retire on. And
It's
what's the
not.
other solution? They have to have some form of income to fall back on. And that's where by building a business, you're guaranteeing yourself that I have something there that's generating cash and generating revenue that can take me to my older age. But when you work for somebody, you get a pension, that's it. So these are kind of mindsets that we need to pass on and let everyone understand what is important in not only getting a good job, but also being an entrepreneur and trying to run your own business.
Yeah, and I encourage, there's a lot of young folks that come in our doors and they're like, "Sir, I'd like to work for myself." Great. I want to encourage that. I don't say, well, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. I mean, like that's a gimme. So if you're coming into it because you think it's easy, that it's not. Our government has an entire center, the Center for Business Development,
Yes.
that I just feel it's underutilized. We don't encourage it. Like they should be doing lots more stuff, right, in that particular area. But we don't teach young people how to be entrepreneurs. We are always telling them how to be an employee. Oh, well, you just need to get a good job. Okay, well, what is that, right? We don't teach anything else. Well, I want to start to explore that. So I don't take that away from young folks anymore. I don't say, well, it's hard. Yes, it's hard. I want to know, what are you willing to commit to? That's what I ask. What are you willing to commit to? Because when I decided, like you, Ralph, that I wanted to run my own show, I had to work full time. I didn't quit my full-time job. So I was working 15-hour days. I was running a full-time company, and I was also at Hope Academy working a full-time job as a manager there. So, and it took me 2.5 years to build up enough capital that I can move out on my own. And I say to people all the time, and then I had to take a significant pay cut and then build the company for the next 2.5 years while I'm in it, right? So there is a lot of commitment, and that's what I like to have a clear understanding when folks come in the door and say, Mr. Miles, I have this great idea. Well, not wonderful. Let's run with it. But I want to know, are you committed to this? Because there are going to be some hard times. There are going to be some times where you're going to want to quit, and you're going to need to love this. It's what I normally say to them, because this isn't the flavor of the day or the month or the year. If you truly love this, the business will take off. But if you think that it's, when you fall out of love with it, that you can just, I don't really need to do this anymore because it's not gotten hard, it stopped being fun, then you're not going to be a good business owner. You're not going to be an entrepreneur, right? And that's the difference. But it is teaching them that. And I think there's loads of our young people that have phenomenal, great ideas on how to build, on what sort of business that they want to build. but they don't have that support system. And that's what I want to give them. I want to reassure them. And I want them, to be able to come in and say, hey, here's what's going on in my company now. Yes, it's hard, but I'm just so happy that I can talk to someone about it. That's where I felt a little bit more alone. I didn't have a lot of people to talk to about it, right? I actually had to pay for coaching. Like I paid for coaching because I needed to actually get my ideas projected onto someone and get me some feedback, right? Whereas we need that now more. We need a lot of folks who are out there who have built their businesses to come forward and start to mentor, right? And start to coach young people, because we have loads of young Caymanians out there. But as what you and I are talking about, we need to start to plant the seed more. We need to make it possible. We need to create the hope, right? That running a business is a great thing, and it's a thing that it is reachable. Whereas this whole thing about, well, you just need to just get a job and get a paycheck. Well, that's not good enough anymore, because even with that, you're still not making ends meet, right? So how do you get them there? And it's to inspire them to do more. And that's what we're doing. The difference, Ralph, of what we're doing is inspiring Caymanians to do more. Yes. You're not coming in here just to do the bare minimum. That's not what I run, right? I don't want you to just be a gardener. I want you to be the best damn gardener. I don't want you to just be, a good electrician. I want you to be the best electrician, right? That's what we preach, right? I don't have no interest in telling people about a salary or a job or a paycheck. I'm interested in how good do you want to be? How great do you want to be? How great, how extraordinary do you want to be? And what are you willing to give to get there? That's what I want to know. I want to know what you're willing to give. Because if you're willing to give up to get, I'm in with you. But if you are in this because you feel that I'm going to give you all of it and you don't have to work hard, I'm done. I'm not going to walk through the door with you. But if you're willing to give up some stuff, I'm in it long term with you.
How are you reaching these people who need those services, skills, motivation?
I don't need to anymore, Ralph. I don't need to anymore. I told multiple ministers, before work came on board, I have 60 plus people on a waiting list for scholarships. And every single day I receive phone calls or I have people walking in the door. I don't need to reach out anymore. Before we used to pay a lot of money on trying to get people to commit through social media and so forth. I don't have to advertise. Right? I have people walking in the door. I have, before I sit in my seat from 8 o'clock in the morning, I shouldn't say 8 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning, my phone is ringing. Sir, can I come in and see you? Or I have a parent or a grandparent calling me, Mr. Miles, my grandson or my granddaughter, or there's a concerned citizen, she's 18, she just got out of school, she really need to talk to someone. Those are the phone calls that my team and I get, right? So I don't need to reach out anymore. People are calling us on a consistent basis of how do I help my 20-something-year-old. I sat with a kid who's 25 years old who never worked in Cayman, ever worked in Cayman. Ralph, I've sat with 30-year-olds who never worked in Cayman. 30 years old, never worked in Cayman. Don't have a pension, don't have health insurance, have never worked here. And that's regular. That's becoming normal.
What have they been doing?
Hanging out at home, playing video games. Parents have picked up the tab. And now all of a sudden, life has gotten really hard.
Yes.
For the parent, or they had a parent who lost a job or been downsized or retired, or a grandparent who's saying, I can't do this anymore. Johnny needs to now get a job. And all of a sudden, they've allowed these kids to stay at home and do absolutely nothing. I am now convincing young people, I'm like, okay, right now you're not offering any value to anybody. I want you to volunteer. Well, sorry, I don't want to volunteer. Well, tell me what value that you're offering them. Because if I'm going to pay you, you need to give me something back. But they never thought of it that way. Right. They just thought that, well, I could walk into a company and you need to pay me. Well, but you're not giving me anything back, right? You're not contributing anything back. But what it will do is, if you volunteer, at least it will then show the employer, hopefully a future employer, that at least you've been doing something. Yes. Well, we've convinced our young people that they shouldn't be working for free. And I'm like, You're not working for free, dude. You're getting skills. You're not working for free. You're actually getting skills. The organization is investing in skills. And I said 90% of the people who volunteer, organizations aren't, and if they're good, organizations aren't getting rid of them because they've already invested training in you. Who do you think that they're going to probably hire if they have a position come open? You. We don't teach it, you see. We don't talk our people through it. We just tell them that they need to get paid for every hour, every second that they work. But then they can sit down and hang on their cell phones and I can't take that time back. So I'm opening a lot of these folks' mind on what the possibilities are. Here's how employers are seeing you. I also have a lot of HR managers coming in. I have a lot of hiring managers coming in to see me to do motivational speeches, to walk these youngsters through or these people through what they expect. Here's what I want from you. When you are coming in my doors to be my employee, here's what I want. And if you can't give me this, I don't want you. I'm not going to hire you. I prefer to pay $5,000 on a work permit because at least I know that person's going to come to work and gonna come on time and I'm going to deal with my customers appropriately, right?
They're looking at value for money, basically.
Ralph, we don't teach it. So do I expect a 17-year-old to know? No, I don't. I'll have kids walk in here with flip-flops, a t-shirt and a tear-up jeans. They've never met me. They don't know who I am. Their grandmother or mother or father have sent them to me, but they come in here looking just very untidy. And I have to sit down and I say to them, did you have other clothes to wear today? Yes, sir. Well, why didn't you just wear some shoes? You're walking into a professional organization. You've never met the people that you're walking into, but you're dressing as if you're going to the club. You know that you're going to go and hang out with your boys. I mean, come on, right? No, if
it just doesn't register,
I wouldn't hire you.
Yeah, and like you say, it's hard to say that they don't know because they can see. Everybody has access to information. They can see, but it's somehow it's not getting through. That's maybe the reasons why they don't have employment or why it's hard to get employment. So they have to make that connect with a disconnect. And so once we make a connection by training that, you have to step up your game if you want to achieve and succeed. And this is what is becoming to nowadays. Like I said, we can't have everything falling into our hands because the pots are running dry.
Absolutely.
The wells are running dry. And the money that was flowing in the years gone by have stopped. And times are getting hard. And now the government, like I always said, the government can't do everything. They can't do everything. But like you rightly said, who's the government? It's the people. The people can't do everything. It's like a village. If all the money goes from the village, who's going to feed those who are not working? Everybody has to contribute. And so it's the knowledge that we have to pass on.
I totally agree. And it's similar like what you just said. How many more social programs can a government create? How many more?
Yeah. Before
it really starts to cut into really your operating budget. You have, now it's the Department of Financial Assistance. That is a very large budget. You are paying over $20 million for every kid in the public schools to have school lunches. It's a very big expense, right? You're taking all of that off of folks. And, I'm coaching people on, okay, how much would you normally pay for your child to have lunch anyways? Well, people are saying, well, I normally pay about $8 to $10. Okay, and do you give that to them 5 days a week? Yes, sir, I normally do. Well, then take that same $50 and put it in an emergency fund. That's not free money, right? The government has taken that burden off of you, but you don't have an emergency fund. So if anything at all comes up, you now have to climb back into NAU to also ask for that money again. When there's money in your budget, there's money there in your budget. There's never a person, Ralph, I have sat down with people who are not making a lot of money. And, they'll say, Mr. Miles, I just don't see how I'm going to, make ends meet. And I say, well, just let's do a budget. And it doesn't matter how much they're making. I could still say to them, hey, this right here, Like you're spending $300 and eating at restaurants every month. You know, I just, okay, like you're telling me that you don't have any money, and I can look at your budget and tell you that if you eliminate that,
Yes.
you'll have some
You
money,
can have some of that. Yes.
right? Or I'm saying to them, okay, you get off of work at 5 o'clock, let's take on a side hustle. You don't need to work it every day, right? You know,
3 days a
there is
week.
deliver food. There's loads of things you can do. So I'm giving people ideas. I'm not telling you that you need to work the side hustle for the next 50 years. Work it for the next 6 months. Get yourself out of this hole, and you don't need to work the side hustle anymore, but you need an extra $300 or $400 a month to make up the difference in your expenses. Well,
Yes.
there's no white knight. Like no one is just gonna just come and just give you $300 every month to subsidize you, right? I know that you need it, so let's now put some hustle in this, right? That's what I'm encouraging people to do, and people are taking it on. People are doing it, and you know, you're asking how effective it is when you sit down and you show people where they are, and you encourage them to do better. 80% of the time, they're doing it better. The other 20% of the time, it would not matter what I say. They want a handout. They want a handout. And they feel like the government's going to be the savior. Okay, then you go and have the government be the savior. I'm going to deal with the 80% that actually want to do well in their lives, right? But Michael Myers is in the bank. You know, you're not coming here because I'm all of a sudden, like I'm going to just subsidize you every time that you misappropriate your funds. Right? It doesn't matter. I have done budgeting with hundreds of people, hundreds. So it's not one or two. I've done budgeting with people who are making 6 figures, and they're overspending, and they have no savings. They have no emergency fund. And I asked one question: if something happens to you tomorrow and you guys go down by one salary, how would that impact you? We'd go bankrupt. Okay. Did you hear what you just said? Now look at the monies that you're spending on stupid stuff. Let's eliminate some of it. I am not saying it need to be forever, but do it for the next 6 months. Do it because you have 3 young kids and you need to do it for them, right? I know what it's like to feel broke, Ralph. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to go broke. I know what it's like to make poor decisions and put your family at risk. I was there. I'm the first in line, man. I'm not here to judge. I went bankrupt. I know what it's like to be at the very bottom. I know what it's like to feel that it doesn't matter what you do, you can't make ends meet. I know what that's like. So I coach based on personal experience. I don't coach just based because I'm a financial coach. I'm coaching based on, I know it hurts. I know it hurts. I know it hurts to walk into a store and not be able to buy the things that you want. Right? But you have to kind of pick up some of those needs and then walk out of the store. I know what that is like. So I coach based on that. So when I hear people telling me a lot of garbage that it can't be done, I call it for what it is in a very respectful way. But we can do this. But we need to teach our people how to do it. We cannot, have this every time there's a major, interest rate hike. We are willing as the government to set up an alternative program to absorb that. We can't. People are going to have to be adults, but we need to teach them. We need to show them ways on how they can cut expenses. And, I like what the premier is doing. He's looking at energy efficiency stuff because, again, we know that's one of our biggest expenditure, right? If your AC isn't properly serviced, I know it's a big expenditure. I went through it. My wife and I have had to replace 2 ACs. It have cut our utility bill by $300-400. So I know what it's like. I know what it's like to, make those sacrifices. But is it worth it? Absolutely. My daughters will never, in particular, my older 2, they will never know what it's like to file bankruptcy unless they choose to. I've completely changed my family tree.
Okay, question.
I've completely changed.
Okay. The program that I think was recently announced by the premier regarding financial planning training, has that started yet?
It has not. So hopefully, I'm hoping that at least by the end of June, I know that they're going to be doing some marketing with that. It's going to be hopefully in all of the districts now. Right now, we're only doing it in Savannah and Newlands. So we
All
have
right.
26 people in a program there. We've been doing it for the last 3 years there. It's been going very well. A lot of people have been dumping debt. So what I've asked the premier to do in January is roll it out. Let's roll it out to everyone.
It's something that is needed, and he's
It
been
is
work.
it's
I mean,
different.
I did some training for him years ago when he was in the other ministry. But so he's had very close to his heart,
It
financial
is.
management.
Well, I
So
mean,
I
he's
think,
feeling it, right?
yeah,
He is feeling it. He's
of
seen it,
course, it
right? I
affects
mean, he
everyone.
sees those people come into his constituency
Yes.
office regularly. Like I've talked to a
Mhm.
lot of those people, Ralph. I've talked to, a lot of the constituent admins. They see it.
Yes.
They see the unemployment. They see people making very poor decisions when it comes to their finances and then run into the constituency offices for a bailout.
Yeah.
So the premier is feeling it because they're paying out a lot of money. In addition to what NAU is paying, these constituency offices is also paying out a lot of money in aid.
Yes.
But if you don't teach people how to manage their finances and hold them accountable, you're always going to be paying out a lot of money.
Yeah. So I applaud that move, and I look forward to seeing the results when it's been announced. So we can probably do some promotions on it. I'm trying to get him in here so we can talk about it as well. Because, like I said, I did a similar program years ago, and you made a good point. The best financial instructors are those who've had the experience themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what we've learned over time, that those people, once you live it, you know it, and you can relate to it. Mr. Miles, always a pleasure having you here. So yeah, you have, you have a wealth of knowledge. And I like what you said, we need to teach. And
We
that's
have
where the
to.
focus has to be. We
We
have to
have
get the
to.
information to those who need it. And that's
Ralph,
why we have this conversation.
I'm so appreciative of you. I'm so appreciative of the opportunities that you continue to give us. And I want to take this opportunity to really thank you, because it doesn't matter when I call you, you always say, Michael, I'll have someone there. So thank you. This youngster that we've just recently promoted, I cannot thank you enough. You don't know. I don't think that you will ever know the impact that you're having as the media, because it's people like the Chris Miles that have come from, the pain and the suffering of his environment as well, that is now doing phenomenal, great things. But by having organizations like yours promote it in a very phenomenal way, because we can also promote bad. I mean, you and I both know that, right? We see it on the news. It's almost every time something comes out, it's this breezes through social media on all the bad stuff. So I want to really, really thank you for helping me. I could not have done this without people like you promoting us, promoting the young people that are doing really good things. So from the bottom of my heart, from the top of my heart, on behalf of my family, on behalf of my center, thank you for always supporting us.
You're welcome. And for those listeners, Chris's story will be in our Friday's newspaper. And if you pick up Wednesday newspaper, you'll see the gentleman who just recently got his pilot wings for the helicopter flight.
I did.
So
I did. It's another phenomenal story, man. I read that over the weekend, and I was like, wow, this is so great, man. It's so great to hear.
It's amazing. We need more of that. And like to say, the information that needs to be disseminated, this is how we do it. Because it's not only teaching about what needs to be done, but also giving examples of those who have done it and have achieved. And that's what makes it happen. So that's why we're here. Michael,
thank you,
I'm
sir.
gonna see you soon. All the best. Have a great
afternoon. Thanks,
afternoon.
Rob. All right, take care, sir. All right, bye-bye.
I want to thank Michael for spending time with me, and for thank you for tuning in to Cayman Conversation. Remember to like, share, and follow Cayman Times social media pages, and also pick up copies of the newspaper on Wednesdays and Fridays. And by the way, Cayman Times newspaper will be free at all locations this coming Friday. Back to the free paper again. Let's go to the supermarkets, gas stations, pharmacies, and pick up your free newspaper. That's going to happen this Friday. If you're a small business owner and would like to appear on Cayman Conversations, email me at ralph@caymantimes.ky, or just call me at 916-2000. Cayman Conversations is a production of the Cayman Times newspaper. Have a great evening, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Now, here's some local music from Cayman artists.
Red light.
Yeah.
Na, 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 na.
The sun is up, the sun is up. The sun is up and it's smiling. Another clear blue perfect day.
Paradise.
A warm breeze from the ocean.
Warm breeze blows your troubles away.
East to West Bay. Oh yeah.
A walk on the white sandy beaches.
A call from the turquoise sea. You know you're right where you're meant to be. If you find yourself believing, if you find yourself still dreaming, if you find yourself in love with life, you found yourself in Cayman We're in Cayman Are you Cayman living in Cayman If you find yourself believing, Cayman if you find yourself still dreaming, Cayman The sun is up, and it's the sun is
Cayman time.
blow your troubles away. If you find yourself believing, Cayman I wanna walk with you
Paradise.
on the white sandy beaches.
The sun is up and it's smiling. Another clear blue perfect day. Paradise.
Yeah, yeah.
I see Jupiter and Mars from far, and Saturn too. The Milky Way looks bright tonight. We were created to shine too. All the world loves a child when he smiles. All the world loves a child somehow. Change some way somehow. The future is right now. The future is right now. I think I just figured it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'd like to rule the world for a day. If I did, they'd be love at least and no more fighting. I'd like to rule the world for a day. Every month we feed, there'd be no more greed and we'd all do the right thing. 'Cause if I did, everything would be okay. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. 'Cause if I did, everything would be okay. No, 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 no. No, 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 no.
Muncie boat in the sound, boy, Muncie boat in the sound. When you talk about blue swab head all around. Muncie boat in the sound, boy, Muncie boat in the sound. When you talk about blue swab head all around. Muncie boat in the sound, boy, Muncie boat in the sound. When you talk about blue swab head all around. Lambert said to Bertie,
Boy, give me a soldier head.
Bertie said to Lambert,
Boy, all the spoils is dead. Muncie.
Muncie boat in the sound, boy, Muncie boat in the sound.
Muncie.
When you talk about blue swab head all around.
Muncie boat in the sound, boy. Muncie boat in the sound.
When you talk about blue swab head